Hello Creative, in today's video we are going to look at how to make YouTube promotional designs like this, like what you have on your screen now. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to be looking at easy way of achieving this design without having to start doing 3D animation with Procreate. So we're going to be using some platforms that are going to help us with mockups and 3D characters. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to start our Photoshop software and we need to open our canvas. But while we're waiting for Photoshop to load, let's open our browser to go to freepik.com. That's where we're going to get some of our resources from. Now, what we need to do first is we need to open an artboard because we want to do, let's try one variation first before moving to others. That's if we're going to cover them. So Ctrl N to open a new design, to open a new artboard. Okay, yeah, brighter. So I'm just going to do 2000. I like using 2000 by 2000, but what you just need is a square because you also want to consider DP size depending on the platform you want to post on. So you take that in consideration. And you leave the artboard checked on. Resolution 300. Whenever you are posting for web or you are making designs for web, your resolution should be 300. Color mode RGB. Custom. I want it to have a white background, so I just make it white. Do not color manage and I create. Now, from the sample we saw earlier, what we have is YouTube icons, 2 YouTube icons with a text. Then we have Photoshop icon and Instagram icon. So let's go download all of those icons. Now, where we can check is flaticon.com. Whenever I want to download icons, you check flaticons.com. So for Freepik, let's search 3D character. Icon, let's go, YouTube. So I believe we remember the samples of icons we saw earlier. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to look for something related to that. So we can download different colors, it doesn't matter. We can always use color overlay effects in Photoshop to change it to what we like. And I'll just download this. Now the next thing we need is, okay, still waiting for the download to kickstart. Continue as Fayemi. All right, which one is this? YouTube downloaded. We need to get the second one. Let's download this. Free download. And we have that. So the next thing we need is Instagram icon, Insta. I believe there is one more we need. One more we need. Where is the preview? Okay, we need a Photoshop icon as well. Instagram and Photoshop icon. Instagram. Let's use this. Then Photoshop. So I just picked this. We can use anyone. Let's use this particular icon. And 3D characters. Okay. So this is where you pick the character you want to use in your design. So let's see. Let's ensure we check the PSD option on so that any search results we get are editable Photoshop file. So we don't have any issue. I think this is good. Open link in new tab. Let's see if we have another alternative. I like this girl sitting here. I'll just use the girl. Like this, so we can have 2 variations. So I'll download the girl Photoshop file. Okay, downloading, download. I like this too. Looks like a professor that is teaching Photoshop like I am. Now, the last thing we need is a mockup for your phone. So I'm just going to search mobile mockup. So let's see what we have here. What was taking so long? mobile mockup no be load. Let me just close this. Phone mockup. So while we're waiting for that to load, let's check the icons we have downloaded. So downloads, still loading, we have this. So we can start with these two, drag them to Photoshop. So what I do is take it up, Control Enter, bring this down, reduce the size. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to type our text, that's the YouTube channel's name. So I'm going to be using the Magic Maker in this case. And the font style I'll be using is Roboto. Not because I like going by OK Robot, but then I just love the font. Roboto, let's use Roboto Bold, the Magic Maker. And I think it would be nice if we change this to a thick black font. So if you look at this, it's not really looking so nice, so soft. So what I can do is let's use a condensed version, no italics, bold condensed, and increase the file size. So Control apostrophe to check your grid. So we don't have to arrange it like this. We can move this to the right. Move the Magic Maker this way. So since we're using an artboard, one of the very cool features about using artboard is you get this positioning controls up here. So what we can do is we can centralize the three, but then it is moving out once. Control Z, let's group it. Control G, let's call this header tags. So Control T, let's see. Yeah, so for it to move everything at once, you have to group it. So it takes it as one component. Now this is in the middle. Let's check, let's use our guides. So see the position. So we could still scale our YouTube icon up, but everything is all about composition and appearance. So for our YouTube, for the Magic Maker name, we can increase the font size to this. Let's see. Make it spacious a little bit. Put it in the center. So for us to check the distance between the YouTube icon and the text Magic Maker, what I do is I click on the YouTube icon, move my mouse over to the Magic Maker text, and I hold the Control key. It's going to give me the distance or the displacement between both texts, which is 39 pixels. So I can click on my YouTube icon and hold the Control key on the Magic Maker. It gives me the distance between the two. So what I can do is I can use my arrow key to move the YouTube icon to the left and check. So now it is on 39, 40. There's really a very slight difference. So one thing about measurements is it makes your design very fine. That's what measurement does. So the next thing we need is our phone mockup. 3D phone, we can use this. I like this. This looks very nice. But what we just need is a screenshot of the YouTube channel. I'll just go ahead to pick anyone. I like this. So let's use this particular one. Download. So while we're waiting for this download, let's go on to other things. So let's check our Instagram icon. Drop it into your Photoshop file. Move down here. Move it down. And the next thing we need is a text showing you your social media handles. So @Rocky Robots Designs. However, the font is too thick, so we want to reduce it to, let's say, regular. Let's say regular. Still too big. Control T, resize. Control Enter. And let's just adjust. You click and drag. Hold the Shift key so it doesn't move anywhere. So once the Shift key is on, it locks it on that particular axis. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create copies of this. Alt click and drag to create the copy. So what I just did was Alt click and I dragged and I have that. Another way is to right click on your text and do duplicate layer, but then you'll be asked the question, okay, and you have another one. The third option is to drag your Rocky Robot text, drag it to the new layer icon, and it creates a copy for you that you can move. So those are 3 ways you can make a copy of any of your Photoshop elements. So I'm going to change this to Rocky Robot Bond, and I'll also edit this to Rocky Robot Right. Now, the next thing we need is a text at the left bottom corner. So if you have your text prepared, you can just type it there, else you can fill it with the L'Oreal Epson filler text. So I'm going to reduce the size of this to 12. Let's see. So let's just do I, comma, Control Enter. Okay. V. Ensure your text is activated and you move it up a notch. So I think this is okay. So let's go check our Photoshop mockup file. Downloading. It is open. So what I'll do is I'll open the file. Just double click on it. Open with Photoshop, always. Alright. Control apostrophe to remove your grades. So what we want to do is we want to replace the image we have here. This is currently on artboard. We don't want that. So what we just did was to crop our canvas. In case you are having that issue, you click and drag and you activate your move tool, or you just do Shift V. So you see that the icon changes. Shift V, Shift V, Shift V. All right. So Control 0 to zoom it, Control minus to zoom out. The next thing we want to do is we want to look for where we are going to change our text. So that should be Smart Objects. Yeah, correct. What I'll do is I'll double click here. Then we need the screenshot of the phone or the screenshot of the YouTube channel. So I have one here already. So I'll just drag and drop it into my Photoshop. And that way you can import this file is you do File, open a Smart Objects, and you look for the file. So just double click. You see that we have it here. The only difference is you'd have to click and drag to where your mockup is for replacement, and you have the text there as well. So I'm just going to scale this up. What I did there was Ctrl T to bring up your transform tool, Ctrl Z to undo, Ctrl Shift Z to redo. So Ctrl T, bring it up, click and drag, Alt click and drag to expand evenly. So we can do this. It's now up to you to pick which side you want to see. Enter, then you press Ctrl X so that it reflects on the mockup section, and you have this, voila. So what we can do is we can remove this background. Now we have our mobile phone mockup on a transparent background. So right click on everything you have here, convert it to Smart Objects. Remember the essence of converting to Smart Objects so that no matter how you scale your file, it doesn't lose quality. Let me just show you something. Like this, Ctrl T, by the time I reduce the size, Ctrl Enter, Ctrl T, and drag it up. You see that our image is pixelated. Okay, it's back to normal. But then it has lost some quality by the time we zoom in. You see that it has lost some quality. So what Smart Object does for you is it helps you retain the pixels of your image so that they don't break whenever you shrink or expand them. So I just Ctrl Z. You see that it looks better now. You see the difference, right? The difference is very much clear. So Smart Object, Ctrl minus, right click, convert to Smart Object. So when we do our Ctrl T, let's resize. Ctrl Enter, Ctrl T, let's scale. Crispy, clean. Ctrl 0. So we drag it to our file. Ctrl T, Ctrl 0, Ctrl minus 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 to zoom out. Alt click and drag. Ctrl 0, Control Enter, Control Apostrophe. A lot of controls, right? But the essence of shortcuts is to actually help you work faster. So you tend to be more productive depending on the level of knowledge you have on the software you're working with. So we have this here. We can actually flip this if we want, but then the text will also be flipped. So let's just leave it like this. So the magic maker, let's reduce it. And if you look at the bottom here, we can see that there are some shadows here. So what our advice would do is to use non-destructive editing with our brush tool to sort of soften up the edges. So you just press B, create a vector max, reduce the size of your brush. Okay, I think I like it big because of the feather edges. Okay, hardness 0, I think this is good. So if you look at, as I click now, you see that the sharpness in the edge disappears. However, if we turn this off, you'd actually see the difference. So what we can do is, we can go back in. So how I'm disabling the vector max is I'm using Shift, then I'm clicking on the vector max. Disable, enable, disable, enable. Increase the hardness, reduce the size of my brush. Then I'll change to white to reveal. It was black, the brush was black. That was why we're able to hide some part. So what I'm just going to do is paint over a part that way. Okay, activate this back. White to reveal, I'll paint that away. Okay, so you see that it is much more cleaner now. So preview, is that we'll have a better looking image. Now the next thing we need here is our 3D character. So let's see if I found something nice. $3D character. Wait, I thought there were some characters we picked before. Okay, we just have to check them again. 3D characters. Okay, I like this. Open and which other one? There was one that was sitting on a chair that we saw here before. And we can't find it again. We can use this. Open a new tab. This is so nice. This is nice as well. So let's use them. Download. Now let's check our Photoshop icon. Photoshop icon downloads. Our Photoshop icon is not here. So click on the download file. Okay. Drag it into your Photoshop software. Resize. And let's go back to checking our character. So it's still downloading. Almost done. Let's see. Precision. V. Zoom out. I think we can realign this better. Okay. Then the text. Let's group these social media handles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think I have 2 workable designs there. Let me delete the copy. So this IG icon. Ctrl G. Insta. And we can check our businessman illustration. Open. So we need to isolate this object. We don't need the shape. Turn it off. Do we need the briefcase? Except we want to slap Photoshop on it. We use the blend modes. Let's see. Let's go with the briefcase. Okay, let's see. How about the background? Okay. Shadow. Okay, this is good. Convert to smart objects. Ctrl G, right click, convert to smart object. And we drag it to our file. Ctrl T. Scale it down. So we may need to move the Photoshop, the YouTube handle mockup forward. So this is how you do design. It's not like there is any formula for design. You just try. This is the transform tool to move faster. So what we can do is place this Photoshop, move it down, zoom in a bit. That's Ctrl plus to zoom in. So move it down, 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 down. Okay, let's do it like levitation. And I want us to also try one more thing. PS. Open. So I want us to use blend mode to see if we can slap this Photoshop icon on the briefcase and it doesn't look fake. So let's say Control Enter. Normal. Okay. By the time we zoom in, we see that it is visible. So when you hold the space bar, you can activate the hand tool. I can still move this. Control T to rotate. Let's rotate this way. Okay, Control T again. So still rotate a little. Control Enter. Too much. Control T. Control Enter. Control T again. Control Enter. So, let's to make it bigger a little bit. Let's do what is called clipping marks. Let's clip it on this image. So, okay, but then it is hiding the remaining part of the briefcase. So let's reduce this. Then you can also play with the blend mode to sort of get a feel, something we'll see that works. So I like this. This is overall not bad. And you can also use this. Okay, let's just stick with this. So this is how you can easily make a mockup. And the next thing you just have to do here is just Control S to save on your computer. You go to your file location. So I'll just go to the folder for this course, Promotional Design for YouTube, and I'll call it Promotional Design. Enter. Okay. Then the next thing we want to do is we need to have a preview of this that we can just share with our friends and family. So one thing I wanted to show you before was how to use blending options to change the color. So you can see that with blending options, we can change the color of our YouTube from black. We can change it to red. We can also use the color picker to pick the red on the YouTube icon. So you also have to look at your composition to see if they are very good. Else, you could just go back to the default and turn off the color overlay and just leave it at black. Or you could just save various variations, then shuffle between them to pick the one that best suits you. Overall, I would like to also check the ruler here. Okay, let me reduce the size of the IG account, of the IG handle rather. Control Enter. So I feel this is good. Then we can reduce the size of the text. Control T, reduce the size. Okay. So the Photoshop, Control Enter. So, and another thing is perspective. So Control T, right click, let's distort. So let's just do something so that it doesn't look like, now we are talking. So distort, to sort of change the perspective. Enter. So this is more or less looking like it is synced with the briefcase. You could also take it, right click, distort. You could also take it up a little bit, up a little bit, up a little bit. And enter when you're done. So I feel this is cool. This is looking more presentable and it's looking like it's part of the briefcase. So distort. Drag this. So this is also another way you can easily get 3D characters without having to spend days sketching and drawing from scratch on Procreate. So I think I prefer the way it was before. This is good. Control minus. And is there any other thing we can do? I think this is cool. We can just go to File, Export. You can use Export As. So what Export As does, it gives you various options. You can shuffle between PNG, JPEG, and if you want to make a GIF. Overall, I prefer saving in PNG because I get a larger file, and I'd like to believe that PNG files also have more quality than JPG file overall because of the information retained in the format of image. So I'll use PNG, export, pick my location. and I'll just call it promotions. Exports. Then also let's try the quick export as PNG option. So let's compare the file size amongst both. Promotion to enter. So what we can do now is we can go and check our file location to just compare between both files. So this is 1, this is 2. So if we check the file size, we see that it is exactly the same thing. So using the quick export as PNG option and also going to export as, to use the PNG option there, gives you the same file size. So instead of going all the way to export as, you can just use quick export as PNG. So overall, PNG file always gives you a larger quality of file compared to a JPG file. But then let's just prove that. So export as JPG. So let's set it to the highest 7 exports. Promotions, JPG, promotions 3. So if we check this now, if you look at the file size, you see that you have just 649 KB, and if you look at the PNG file size, you see that you have 1.11 megabytes. So overall, you get more quality from a PNG file than a JPG file. So I hope we've been able to learn how to make simple promotional design in minutes with Photoshop, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.